So for some context, we moved out of Michigan for the first time in our lives about a year ago. Like a lot of people, we had a dream of living in a cabin in the woods, surrounded by trees, animals, and having space to breathe. This led us to a small town in Maine, living in a restored church on the river. We spent the summer exploring our new home, soaking up all the beauty that Maine had to offer. But just 8 months after moving there, we packed everything up and left Maine for good. This time, headed for the West Coast. So why did we leave Maine so soon? Did we enjoy it? Why the West Coast? And what about our cozy cabin dreams? Well, here's what happened. We actually looked at the apartment that we ended up moving into while we were on our honeymoon. If you want a more detailed breakdown of that story, we do have a couple videos on it that are much longer. We were able to see some really cool places last summer. Lex did a great job of planning a lot of very fun activities, outings, weekend trips.
Rangeley, Moosehead Lake, Acadia again. Just anywhere where there were mountains and lakes and moose, we went.
Yep. By the end of the summer, things had kind of started to shift. It wasn't like things fell apart overnight, but definitely the honeymoon phase, for lack of a better term, for Maine specifically, not for us. That will never end. But with Maine, the spell was kind of broken a little bit, or just starting to lose its luster by the end of summer.
Once the sun started setting at 3:45 p.m., things took a turn.
And when you had to work for another 4 hours after the sunset, it was not fun.
Yeah, when the sun was setting on my lunch break.
Yeah. And at that point, when we were inside a lot more, the apartment started to feel it was small. We always knew it was small.
We have our tiny little living space.
And so as we were starting to be inside more and it was getting dark earlier, it just felt smaller and smaller with every week. And then we were having a lot of issues with noise and construction in the rest of the building.
For me, it was really the construction in the rest of the church.
Yeah.
Pretty much every day. A lot of communication with our landlords that we were just not interested in having.
Yeah.
It was just a lot.
Yeah.
So the thought of just finding a different apartment in Maine wasn't super exciting. Mm-hmm. So that, I think, really gave us some room to consider, should we just go somewhere else entirely?
And we definitely we didn't want to just leave on the merits of our living situation wasn't great. Mm-hmm. So we did go through what we called should we just buy a house phase, where we really thought we were going to buy a house in Maine. Mm-hmm. We were like, you know what, the state's cool, it's just the apartment that's not for us.
Yep, we got a real estate agent, we toured a house.
We're headed to see our first house. We really got into it. We were planning out floor plans and bedrooms. And...
I sketched entire blueprints of the layout of each room, because that's what I do when I know don't get attached. I literally remember saying that on the way to go see. I'm like, I know we haven't even seen the house yet, but my whole life is here.
Yeah.
We've done what you're not supposed to do when looking for a house.
Yep.
We've gotten fully emotionally attached.
Yep.
I've drawn blueprints of every room and organized how we would lay out the furniture, because I'm a psychopath.
And then the day after we toured the house, they got an offer and accepted and wouldn't even let us make an offer, which definitely worked out for the best.
Yep. I think we also got to a point where we felt very satisfied with everything we had done in Maine so far. We pretty much did everything on our list that we wanted to do. So it just started making more and more sense of are we just good to wrap this up and move on to something else now?
Yeah, our plans for the following summer, when we thought we were going to stay, were kind of just repeating our favorite things at that point. Once the house didn't work out, we definitely had a moment of clarity of realizing that maybe we weren't quite ready to settle down long term. We had only tried one place and we lived there for 6 months. And this idea of was this all we were going to do? Is this big adventure over now?
Knowing that there's so many other places that we considered moving before and so many other things we haven't seen yet.
I think it was at that point that we were kind of we just wanted to try this, but maybe that specific lifestyle was not for us right now.
We literally wanted to live in a cabin in the woods. That was the goal. Mm-hmm. We got as close to that as we could, and we didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. Yep.
And
that's okay.
We really wanted to, and we really gave it an honest shot, but it was quite isolating. Yeah. Just not even being able to go to a coffee shop or go to yoga.
Yeah.
like little things like that that really give you a sense of community. It just wasn't what we thought. I think overall we just felt ready to leave. It was not bad. It's just like we experienced it, we feel satisfied. We're ready for something else now.
Yeah, we definitely don't see it as like a failure or have any kind of animosity towards like living there. It just was kind of like, yeah, we felt very satisfied a lot quicker than we expected. And so once we started asking these questions, we did get pretty clear pretty quick that we wanted to try living somewhere else. And once we knew that we wanted to move, it's not like we knew exactly where we wanted to go, but we kind of made a list again, the same way we did for Maine the first time. We made a list of like, okay, what were the other places we were interested in? What did we not like about Maine, or what do we want differently? And really like got very intentional with seeking out somewhere that checked all those boxes.
And coming from Ypsilanti, Michigan, which is just the most beautiful, vibrant, queer, and diverse community, that was a huge factor that we were just completely missing. So looking for something that had more of that diversity.
So we then sought out to try to find a place that kind of balanced the community aspect that we were missing with the nature aspect that we did have.
Because Maine was 10 out of 10 nature-wise.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Our drive to the grocery store, I said this the whole time, just stunning. Drive along the river the whole way. Now it was 7 miles away just to get into town. So there were downsides, but it was really pretty. And then that kind of gets into the question of why Washington? Like, why do we move pretty much as far away as possible from Maine?
Northeast corner to northwest corner.
Complete opposite end.
Basically, Washington seemed like everything we were hoping to get out of Maine, but somehow even better. I think we just figured, why not go for a drastic change again? That's always fun.
Yeah, I even said that in my vows. You're a very open-minded and adventurous person who's always down for a drastic change, which I think is a very fun way to go through life.
And the West Coast is somewhere we've never been, but had always been appealing to us. And moving to Maine initially gave us so much confidence in the process of just making decisions like that. Yeah. So we felt totally equipped to move somewhere where we had never visited before.
Yeah, I think moving to Maine initially almost had this like safety net aspect where we knew it wasn't going to be drastically different from Michigan, but like you said, after we had already done that once, there was a lot of confidence that, okay, we can move anywhere now and we'll do totally fine.
So the idea of let's move somewhere where we always wanted to vacation, we can just think of it the same way of like, let's just get an apartment here for a year, visit all the national parks that we want to see, do all the cool things we want to do. Yeah. And when our lease is up, we can decide if we want to move or stay. I also could not give up living close to the ocean.
That didn't work. Oh,
Well, I touched it with my hand a little bit.
Good.
I loved being able to just go to the beach in Maine. And now, living on Puget Sound, having access to the Pacific and a whole bunch of lakes again is just
it's
ideal.
Perfect. Yeah.
Except now there's volcanoes, rainforests,
Insane.
mountains. It's like Maine times 1,000 nature-wise in Washington.
Yep.
And a lot more diversity, a lot more community that we're looking to engage in.
Yeah. One big lesson that we did learn from our time in Maine was being very intentional with where we were living.
That's my bad.
It's okay.
I jumped the gun.
That's all right. And we didn't want to live in Portland in Maine, which is really where most of the apartments are. So outside of there, you really don't have like great options. And so moving to a place with a lot of people, we had a huge range of options for living. So we did not take that lightly. So we had one afternoon where we went to Barnes & Noble in Augusta in Maine and had our whole list of like everything we want. We had like our top 7 apartments or something. And we went through line by line and rated each apartment on all these ratings.
Yeah, it was like walkable, 7 out of 10. Close to amenities.
The layout
of the apartment.
Yeah. And I think that paid off.
Yeah.
I think we did that right. Because this apartment's incredible.
This is my favorite city and actual home that I've ever lived in. Something else that really helped with moving to Washington is living in the Pacific time zone when all of my clients are in Michigan in Eastern time. As a therapist, being expected to work into the evenings to have those hours available for clients, I'm kind of cheating the system.
Yeah.
I get off work at like 4 or 4:30 now.
Yeah.
So we have more time together in the evenings. We have more daylight hours together.
Yeah. And there were a lot of small changes like that just in moving here that really has improved our quality of life. We get to spend a lot more time together. I'm a lot more relaxed personally.
I'm able to actually do things in the evenings
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Where like I can go to yoga. I mean, there was a while where I would just work, not drive ever, not get in the car ever, and
Yep.
then it's like time for bed, and it just got weird.
Yeah.
You have your own office space now.
Yeah.
That we have an extra bedroom in this apartment. We just have more space, more time, more balance.
Right away when we first moved here, there were some things that just like blew our minds. First of all, we moved in the dead of winter and everything is green and alive and it never like got below freezing really.
Like the grass doesn't die here.
It's not so much the heat, it's the humidity that'll kill you.
I didn't even know that before moving.
I didn't either.
We arrived and I was like, everything's green.
Yeah.
And it's like mild. We skipped out on like half of winter by accident. I always thought like Washington, mountains. I mean, I knew there was like a temperate rainforest, but I
Yeah.
still thought it was pretty cold. I know the locals will say winters are long, it rains, there's no sun, but like, y'all, it's warm and it doesn't snow.
Yeah.
And everything's green. Like, you don't
Yeah.
have 6 months of brown.
And you can still go outside in the winter.
We are the only people chilling on our balconies.
Yeah.
I'm like, why doesn't everyone? I'm like, oh, they think it's winter.
Yeah.
It's like 45.
I remember over the holidays in Maine, we had some family from Michigan visit. We tried to just like go outside for a few minutes, and it was painfully, bitterly cold, like 5 degrees or something, and dark, and 6 p.m.
Yep.
The other thing that just I will never get over is Mount Rainier. I have never seen something so just mind-blowing in my life, and we're a ways away. I didn't think we'd be able to see it. On a clear day, when you're just driving around town, it is so visible. Like, I always thought the pictures were exaggerated. They are not.
I love that it's like a fun thing when it's a sunny day too, because then it's not overcast and you can see Mount Rainier so clearly. And it's just like, I mean, we've been here for over 2 months now, and every single time we see Miss Rainier,
Yeah. We gasp,
like,
lose our minds.
my jaw is on the floor.
Yeah.
We're freaking out.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't go away.
Yeah, me too.
Being Flatlanders by
Yeah.
nature, it's pretty mind-blowing.
The other thing is just the view from our apartment is gorgeous. We got very lucky. We did make a good decision with moving here to this specific place. We had our criteria, like we said, but we also did get lucky at the last minute with our unit not being available and having to switch to another one.
We were so nervous though because they called us and said our unit wasn't available anymore, and we were freaking out for a second. And then they're like, "There's actually a bigger unit with a view that's available instead that we can give to you for the same rent."
Yeah.
We're like,
Done.
Great.
Yeah. We're like,
you.
let me think about it. Oh my God. Yeah, we'll do it. Okay.
to be honest, I definitely liked Maine more than you did.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
But when we arrived in Washington, literally just arriving for the first time, hadn't even been in our apartment yet, I was like, okay, but this.
Yeah.
It just a feeling.
Yeah.
I could have been fine in Maine, but something about it here just felt even better than I could have imagined.
I'm so glad that we pushed ourselves to not just accept contentment and that we knew we hadn't found exactly what we were looking for. It really, really paid off.
And we just had to try to find that out. I don't think I could have even had a word for that feeling of arriving in Washington. It's just like when you know your body is just like,
Yeah.
okay, this feels good.
Yeah.
And we're really excited to start exploring Washington. We have a trip planned to the San Juan Islands this summer. We're so excited to go to all the national parks and even just like state parks. And
We've already done amazing things, just like going to places in the area around us.
we'll just go for a walk on a Tuesday on the beach and see a bunch of seals. I can't believe that is our life. We can go to the rainforest, we can go tide pooling, just so much to do here, and so we're really excited for that. We're really grateful for the time that we had in Maine, and I don't think we would have been able to move to Washington if not for the confidence and experience that we had and built living in Maine. And I'm excited for everything there is to come here in Washington.
Yeah, I feel like we got our groove back.
Yes. That's all.
Sounds good. Do you want to take a stab at it? That's okay.
The camera's in the way. I'm making this hard.
It's okay.
I keep crying.
Just flow.
That doesn't help.
Kind of give a baseline for. You're acting like you're high at a Christmas party.
I feel like I have to be serious. It's like being at a funeral.
Oh no.
The giggles. My body's rebelling. It's like, okay, press record. Start crying. We got a landlord. We toured a house.
A real estate agent.
Did I say we got a landlord?
Yeah. Like a different climate, a different atmosphere. I really put an N in climate.
A different climate. I am glad. No. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Future Keegan, who's editing
That's
this.
okay.
Chester.
I love you.
You don't have to keep this in the video.
Okay.
I just looked at you and I love you.
Very cute. I love you too, Dan.
You're so cute.
Take me back to that mountain road, the one that led to the swimming pool, the fish I caught with my line.